Hello, hello, hello. You are live, meaning we are live.
And happy Sunday, one and all, with Vibe of the Week.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're vibing today. Yeah, I love it. Happy vibe of the week. All right, let's get to it. Well, we can wait a second. I guess we went a little bit early, but it's good. Yeah, so Kitty and I we like to go live because when we go live, we can feel your energy when people join us, and it just makes it fun.
It does. It makes it very, very much fun.
We can soak up your energy too and feel like that we're really talking to someone
Yep.
and giving you the messages that you need to have. So going live is fun. Uh, and if you haven't tried to go live on your own site or your own page or something, you should try it. It's really not as scary as it seems. After you've done it a couple times,
Or a couple hundred at this point.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like, just picking up the phone and calling someone. And especially if you do that FaceTime or something, or whatever that thing is called, the messenger where you can see each other. It's just kind of like that. So it becomes really easy to do. Uh, so anyway, hi
Anyway,
Chan, how are ya?
hi, Kimberly. Kimberly is our next presenter. So, yay. Hi.
Oh, yay.
So, but anyway,
All right.
here, it is time for Vibe of the Week.
It's time for another week. Woohoo.
And we're going to switch it up a little bit because for some reason I got a request to do this. So, okay, from
Keep
Spirit.
me guessing.
So we're just following along because, as you know, we're all here about our spirit and our spirit connections. So I'm going to go first about the vibe of the week. The overall message I got was about being a breaker circuit, being that circuit breaker. What switch are you going to be throwing this week? What kind of flows are you going to participate and not participate? Had this great karmic kind of opening and chance to talk with our higher self at this last the solar eclipse. And so that is where we are. So today we're going to start with Truth in Structures expands. Today it's activating that Capricorn moon with that Jupiter energy of I want, I feel, I expect. How am I going to be expanding? Where am I going to throw that switch? It's a swiftly moving moon for some reason. And as we move on to the week, we're going to be looking at changing our structures. Mars is a big player this week. Mars is in Scorpio, so it's all about where am I going to put my determination and will? What is it I want to see? And you're going to have an opportunity to go with the flow. Is it important I go with the flow? Is it important I have something I have to say that may stop the flow? So when we're looking at Monday and Tuesday, that's kind of what we're taking a look at. Is it important enough for me to say that might break the flow, or is the flow just as important right now? And or can I say something that helps the flow go along? Again, we have Mars and Saturn this week. Saturn is in Aquarius, epiphanies and humanitarian. What structures, where am I going to put my information? Which part of that circuit breaker am I going to flip? And, we have, of course, Pearl Harbor Day coming up, a day that lives in infamy. And the energies that day are actually pretty going with the flow. They're either conjunct or in trines, and they're working in the background. So you can really take a chance to step back and look at your structures. And then about midweek, we're going to see a little bit of change in our expansion, and it's going to want us, that will is going to want us to look at, kind of push against each other and say, where are you expanding? Make sure it's in a thought that lets things flow in, and be open to what it is I'm going to do. We're going to be firing up the truth here. They're going to be rapidly going. And the truth is, what is the conversation in my brain? I talk to myself the most in all of my life, throughout my whole life. So, what is the truth I'm telling myself in my brain that I really want to participate in? And where are they? Where am I going to communicate about them and take ownership? Because we have that moon working in the background on the 8th with the sun and Pluto change in how am I going to step forward from here? This really is about where am I throwing the switch this week? Where's the power going? And stepping on back and just letting it ride through, jumping in when we feel like it. And then on the 9th, we have our intentions fire up. We have a dreamy day to expand and to stop, as a teacher, stop and think. Whoops, this is kind of triggering me. I'm going to stop and think. What is my intention? What is it I want to keep going with? Where am I running to? What is it I want to do? Being that breaker. Nope, I'm going to stop that action and flow over here. I'm going to move the power where I want it to be. And then by the 10th, what flow do you want to create? Shake it on up, baby. The body all is really, we're going to be shaking up the way we do things this week. We have the moon squaring the sun on the 10th, and that's Friday. And from the smaller you, check where it is you want to roar. Check what elements you're vibing with. Is it in my energy? Is it in my thoughts? Is it in me being out at the earth? Or is it in my emotions? I'm going to be kind of looking at what tool I can use to keep going with this. Spirit is talking to that inner you on that day. And then next Saturday, it's an emotional day. So, and it's a day of change. So again, here we go. Flow with it. Throw the circuit breaker. Go where you want to go. Energize that part of your circuit with whatever element makes you feel and go. And that's kind of our vibe of the week. This for the astrological signs out there.
Yeah. Well, and that goes perfectly with what I had been feeling, and especially with the flowing. I kind of was getting personally, and then I know that this always speaks to some of you out there as well, is going in that receiving or resistance mode. Where are you at? And that actually has to do with flow and with intentions. And so, if you are in that receiving mode, you're allowing that flow to come in and for it to come in to you from spirits, from the universe. It comes into you. But if you're resisting, and that doesn't necessarily mean I'm not going to do this, it's just that you are not in that receiving mode, or you're too busy, or you're not taking time to just kind of be quiet. The quiet I talked about on that one live where, put yourself on the list. Well, make sure that part of that list is, when you put yourself on there, is to put yourself into something relaxing or something quiet. Because when you're quieting your mind, meditation is a great time. That's when the flow comes in. That's when you're in the receiving mode. When you're too busy, when you're too eager, when you're trying to force it, that's all a type of resistance. When you're trying to effort it, put a lot of effort, and this is what I want, and this is what I want, why isn't it coming? Then again, you're creating a type of resistance. So when you're just in the flow and you're allowing it to just come to you whenever, in flashes of inspiration.
Click that switch. Yes.
Click that switch, and a flash of inspiration will come to you. And I want to say that that's exactly what happened to Kitty and I this morning before we came on. We were in that receiving mode. We were talking about what it is, what our dreams are, where do we want to go with IOTS, where do we see us, because we're really doing and intentionally setting things for the new year and how we want this next year to flow for us. And that inspiration, that flash came in that said, well, you need something more to your title. So if someone's out there searching or looking, they're going to have a better idea of what your site is created to do. So if you look at the little banner on the bottom, you can see we added creating spaces for soul connections.
A tagline.
Intuition of the soul, creating spaces for soul connections. Let us know how you feel about that. We were really excited because that was like, oh, that was something we had never thought of. That was a flash of inspiration that came to us from spirit. Like, you know what? maybe there's a little more you can do to put yourself out there to attract more people and to attract the things that you want regarding the intuition of the soul. So it was really cool. But that's what happens when you are in that receiving mode, when you're in that mode of, like, giving the gratitude for everything that you have, feeling the satisfaction. Kitty and I have talked about that, feeling satisfied for where you are right now. Then it's like, boom, you'll get this flash of inspiration. You'll get this flash of, maybe try this, or this is what I'm telling you to do. And then go with it. Don't get in the resisting mode of, here's another example of how you'd resist. Well, I don't know how I would do that. I don't know how that would come. I'm not sure I could do that. That again is putting up that resistance. So like Kitty said, I love that. Switch that breaker into, you know what? Everything is going great. I'm really satisfied. I'm in the receiving mode, and bam, let that flash of inspiration hit you.
And the other way we talked about it is, I thought this was, Amy attended a wonderful program, was sometimes we put too much effort forth.
Yes.
And that becomes the resistance. Like we don't step back enough and let it go to see where we put we just keep going at it. And that actually blocks the ability to receive.
Right.
So
you have to
we
be
go.
in that flow. You just have to be in that flow, letting it just flow to you. So here's some cards that I got from Metatron's deck that is talking right to do that. Number 9, action, movement needed. So what this, I believe, is saying is, if you get that inspiration, don't ask how or why. Just let it allow, just to let it come in for that brief second before your mind goes to, I don't know how I would do that, or how's that going to happen, or who's going to help me. No, just go, wow, that's great.
Yep.
So action is needed, but just let it flow into you and get that inspiration, get that information to come in. And then 3, creation, expansion in your life. There we go. I love this. Creation, expansion in your life, because and Kitty talked about expansion. Kitty talked about expansion this week. So when you're in that creative mode, when you're in that receiving mode of calling into the things that you want to create, that's what they're asking you to be in this week. Be in that place. And then that creation will come to you again. Look how beautiful that is with the, there's a lot of bright light play over here. Oops, other side. Other side. Right here. There's a lot of light play. That to me represents that inspiration. That flash of inspiration, that flash that's coming into you. And then I got number 27, the Metatron Rainbow Bridge is always open. Okay. So then this just can mean a lot of things. Inspiration can be coming in across that bridge. It can be coming in through ancestors. It can be coming in just from spirits or your guides. So this is any place, any place. The important thing is to be in the receiving mode, because if you're not, well, you can't receive anything, can you?
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty much a duh. If you're not in the receiving mode, you're not going to receive anything.
Switch that switch on over. Okay, I'm going to step over here and move that current.
Exactly.
Hey, rainbows go where they want to go.
Yes, yes. And they're beautiful. They're light. They're all of that. And I'm going to, this is a great card. I got the, I can't remember the name of it. Stephen Farmer, but it's the Earth Magic or something. I'm not quite sure the name of it, so I apologize for that. But okay. But I love this one. Look at this one. Dance, celebration.
Oh, that's the same thing we pulled this morning for the Season of Light. The card had dance on it. Yep.
Yes. Yep. Okay. So there you go. So as you are receiving and as you are putting yourself in that mode, what a great way to be in the receiving mode than to be dancing and just being joyful, right?
Just move your body the way it wants to go.
When you're dancing and having a good old time. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, your body moves where it wants to go.
Yes. I love that. And then DNA karma. Okay. DNA karma. And I don't think we've had either one of these cards when I pulled them. So it's really cool. I love this one. Look at that. DNA karma.
Well, and we
Ooh.
just left that very powerful solar eclipse that we released from our DNA a whole lot of karma. So now we have an opportunity to flow and create
Yes.
create new karma, law of attraction.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. This is what just happened. This is just a confirmation of what's been happening and may still be happening a little bit. I feel like I had some karmic release last night in my dreams, so I do feel like this is still happening for some of us. So keep that in mind as well. But otherwise, I just love it. I think it's really, really positive, good messages this week about just allowing and flowing and switching that little circuit that Kitty says to allow for a different flow or even just a different frame of mind.
Follow the current, whether it's energetic, water, follow it.
Okay, and I'm going to pull a couple last spirit messages for us. Spirit, what do you want to tell us? That one's sticking out. Oh, okay. I tell you, sometimes the same cards come out constantly, but I guess that's what we need to hear, huh? I do have more than 5 cards, though. Okay, the first one that wanted to come out was your beliefs are right for you. Oh, come on. There you go.
There you are.
Your beliefs are right for you. Okay? So
and
I love
that is how you stay in the flow. Follow your beliefs. Yep.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if somebody else believes it or not. Your beliefs are right for you. And oh boy, here we go. Let go of ego. Well, you absolutely have to do that to be in the flow, because the ego is the place that's going to be telling you, oh, how are you going to do that? You can't do that. You might get a brilliant bit of inspiration of something they're telling you they want you to try. Oh, geez, Louise. Anyway, it says let go of ego. You might get that, but then your ego is going to say, oh, really? I don't know if I can do that. Who's going to help me? I've never tried that before. So that's your ego. That's your ego trying to protect you. Well, you know what? No way. You're going to just dance and celebrate and say, you know what? That's a beautiful thing you just brought to. Now look at how nicely this one shows up. The ego card didn't want to show up. Why? Because they don't want your ego in it. They want you to do this because this one shows up beautifully. All right. I think that beautiful messages today.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So just remember, throw the switch where you want it, step into who you want to be. You're going to be expanding. Look at those intentions and go, 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 go. Go with that flow.
That's right. And open yourself up to allowing, receiving. Yep. Be in that receiving mode. So take a quiet time when you need to and just say, I'm going to just sit here in the receiving mode and see what comes up.
That's right.
All right, lovely people. Thank you for listening to Vibe of the Week.
Yep. No program this week, but we do have the first book meeting at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. It's over 2 weeks. If you can't make one, please try to make the other. And it is Avalon to Aurora by Jeanette Biro. And
even if you haven't read the whole thing and you're only halfway through, I mean, it's a pretty quick, easy read that you can do. Still come and be part of the conversation, because if you've read any of it thus far, there's some really good stuff right from the beginning to the end.
Oh, I learned about things I didn't know about, like soul, what was that called? Basically, it's a soul add-on that can happen to you. Yeah. Some really interesting things that she got from her NDE, or near-death experience, and fascinating conversations, guys.
Yes, so if you are part of the book club and go in there, we're going to try to be able to meet with her and to ask her some specific things about her book and her experiences. But you got to come and be part of the book club to be able to do that.
Right. So after the 2 weeks, we'll kind of approach her and we will go, but it's a fascinating read. It really is. So
it is. All right, have a great week, everyone.
Aloha. Aloha.